Welcome to the Park Snacker Pod, your source for Disney Parks news. I am Matt, and I'm with my co-host Katie. Katie, how's it going
Hey,
tonight?
hey, it is going really good. It's really hot today and it's like unusually hot. It's like 100 degrees for June, which is not normal. And I feel like it's hot enough I should be at Disney and I'm not. So that's a bummer. But how are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'll get
Yeah.
into, I'm a little under the weather. I'll get into that for a bit, but in a bit. But, for the weather, yeah, everyone is saying how in Florida right now it's actually like really hot. And I think I must have missed the like hot
Oh
weather
man.
because everyone's saying how it's like the heat index is over like 100 or whatever. It's like it's really hot, not like humid, but just like hot, hot.
Mhm.
And I had a gorgeous weekend in Disney this
Good.
past week. Like, don't get me wrong. It was like hot. Friday was like, pretty, it was hot, but it wasn't too humid. And then for whatever happened, like Saturday was like actually gorgeous. Like, I
Nice.
think it was like mid to high 80s, just like nice. The evening was really both evenings were really nice. So I definitely lucked out there. But
Cool. That's
yeah,
awesome.
apparently heat waves are just going around everywhere. So,
Yeah. It's
yeah.
not pleasant. It shouldn't I can literally see you have the heat, no humid, fine. I can deal with that. But I can literally feel the air here. It's so humid. It's
Ugh,
disgusting.
gross.
I can feel it and bottle it. But
No
it's all
thanks.
good. It's all good. I am so excited to talk to you about your trip report. So
Yeah.
that's what we got on this slate today, right?
Yeah. So today is going to be a trip report day for me. There was going to be no news. Um, you know, I was going to try to do a little bit of news, but I'm feeling under the weather. And I do want to mention I actually tested positive for COVID this morning.
No.
Yeah, I did an at-home test, and within like a minute it showed up, and we're like, oh, okay. And then like 15 minutes later, we just did another one, and like right away it was positive.
Oh
So,
my god.
I think all I want to mention. So this past weekend, I was trying to be as safe as I could. Traveling to and from. I had a mask on the entire time, in the airplane and such. I didn't have it on outside, but at least on Friday, I had it most of the time indoors. And I think on Saturday, I just got a little too comfortable. And I definitely did not have my mask on as much
Mhm.
indoors. So, this is my first time getting COVID. And I can only assume that, I got it in Disney World where, I was exposed to all this. So,
Yeah.
luckily I'm feeling okay. I have a bit of a cold, so that my voice is, I actually couldn't talk a few days ago.
I was gonna say you texted me a couple days ago saying, "Oh, I don't know if we're gonna be able to record because I kind of lost my voice." And my
Yeah,
immediate thought was like, "Uh oh, is this it? Is
well,
this
so
it?"
that no, so that started before I left, and my that was from my daughter and my wife. They both got sick. My wife couldn't speak for almost like 5 to 6 days.
Oh
I didn't
no.
get it as bad, but it caught up to me after a bit. So,
Got it.
I'm just taking this time to mention that hey, COVID is still out there. It's a thing. I'm boosted and I have all my shots. We're safe as for the most part, or we're safe for the
Mm-hmm.
most part here. But if you're going to Disney World, just be safe. If you're worried about it, mask up. I was actually really surprised by how many people are still masked up, even outside. I was like,
Wow.
okay, I'm glad that people are still, taking the precautions and stuff like that. So,
For sure.
yeah. But I'm well enough to do this. When I do any physical exertion, I get tired very easily. But so I'm
Okay.
hoping
Well, no jumping jacks while you
no.
talking.
No, no, yeah. So hopefully, talking doesn't, make me tired at all. So,
Yep.
anyways, so let's get into it. Before we start, just got to mention our sponsor, Park Snacker, is a free and new mobile app that you can download where you can rate, review, and discover over 60,000 menu items at Walt Disney World. It actually really helped me this past weekend.
Nice.
I was like, man, I just love our app. I know I'm one of the creators, but man, it was like it was super helpful just like looking at, reviews and such like that. So, you can connect with your friends to see what they're snacking on. I've already posted all of my reviews. I bought, but not including water. 28 different items.
Nice.
I actually thought I was going to be snacking on a lot more, but I didn't.
I mean, I feel like that seems like a lot for 2 days.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It is definitely a lot. It's between drinks, snacks, and like meals and such, though. But yeah, you browse menus, create custom lists, and so much more. So just head over to parksnacker.com to download the app on iOS or Android. So let's get started with the trip report. So I want to kind of flip it over to you, Katie. You're going to be asking the questions tonight.
Yes.
We'll get this started.
Cool. I am very excited because the past few trip reports we've done have just been mine. So now I'm in charge. Just kidding. You're still very much in charge. I'm not in charge of anything, I assure you.
It's all good.
All right. So I think first we just need to talk like logistics, right? So like, when did you fly down? How long did you stay there for? Where did you stay? I know we've kind of covered that in like your planning process, but and then also like who did you see and what all did you do, and kind of flow through your logistics of the trip.
Yeah. So this was just going to be a short weekend. I flew in late Thursday night. My flight was delayed by like an hour and a half. Apparently bad weather in Florida, so they held our plane. I was on the plane for 10 minutes and they told us to get off, so that was fun.
Oh, at least you didn't have to get stuck on the plane that whole time. You guys
No. Yeah, luckily that didn't happen. But so I didn't get to the resort until like 11:45. The first night, I mentioned in the past, I stayed at All Star Movies. I was staying at the B Resort beforehand. But I was like, I wanted to get lightning lanes for 7 in the morning. Mm-hmm. So I had to be at a resort, a Disney resort. So thankfully, All Star Movies had a night for honestly not too much more. It was like $40 more than what I was paying.
What area of movies did you stay?
So I stayed in the Mighty Ducks section.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah. Have you stayed at All Star Movies before?
So we stayed there for one night in our February trip, but we paid for the Toy Story like premier rooms, preferred rooms, or whatever.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I didn't even know that was a thing. I don't remember. Or you probably mentioned it. I just don't remember.
Yes, I stayed in the Toy Story area, which was super cool, but I really haven't explored the area much. Did you, was it pretty cool to see all the Mighty Ducks stuff? Are you a Mighty Ducks fan?
I mean, I definitely grew up, watching the Mighty Ducks. The only really thing there was like there was the huge like duck mask, and I think the hockey sticks. I can't remember. I literally walked into the resort, asked for directions and a map, and then I was on my way to the room that was empty. So I really didn't get to see the All Star Movies at all. So my and part of the Who, my buddy Art, he's one of my best friends. It worked out. He was visiting his family in Florida. He came up for the night, and we were going to tour all day the next day. And he was there earlier, and I was like, I needed to get a snack, like the first, especially the first night. I'm like, I need something, and I was hoping to hit up like the pool bar or just the food court, but they all closed at 11. I didn't get there till 11:45. So he picked me up the box office cupcake, which is called, which was very good. It was like vanilla cake with like caramel filling, and it had like popcorn peanut brittle on top.
It looked really good.
It was good. It was a marshmallow buttercream frosting. I am not a cupcake guy, but I wanted something that was like unique to All Star Movies. So the title was Box Office Cupcake. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm in. So,
there you go.
And
sold.
Surprisingly, it was actually, it was solid. It was very good. I definitely recommend it.
Nice.
Yeah, so I mean, All Star Movies, we didn't, I didn't really get to do anything. We literally got up at 6:20 because I wanted to shower and stuff like that and get ready for the day. And then, the plan was get our lightning lanes at 7, which I'll talk about. Then just grab our bags because I wanted to go drop off where I was moving to the Boardwalk Inn or the Boardwalk Resort. I wanted to drop off my bags at Bellhop, walk around the resort a bit, get some breakfast, and then we were going to go into the back entry for Epcot that day. So All-Star Movies, I was in and out so quickly, I didn't get to do or see anything.
Oh my God. Yeah, literally 12 hours. That's crazy.
Yeah, my buddy said, which I definitely agree with him, like, he has a kid as well, under, I think under about to turn 2, and he was like, oh, this would be like a great resort to stay for kids, because they brought her to like Riverside before, but he was like, oh, this would be so much fun for kids. So, and I definitely agree,
Yeah.
maybe at some point in the future, but yeah, so yeah, I'll kind of stop there, because the next 2 nights I was at the Boardwalk Resort, Boardwalk Inn, and I'll definitely talk a bit more about that. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Well, I want to dive in, I guess, to your first experience with Genie Plus and the lightning lanes and all of that stuff. Like, did you have, I mean, I kind of already know the answer, but did you have good luck? Did you get everything you wanted? What was your experience? Like, overall positive? Had some hiccups? What do you think?
So overall positive.
Good.
We had virtual queue. We did the virtual queue for Guardians of the Galaxy coaster, which I definitely want to talk about. We got in at 7. I was ready to go. I just, I saw it turn 7. I hit the refresh, hit join virtual queue. The Norse gods were with me. And they gave me boarding group 7, which was like,
Oh my God.
I'm like, holy crap, boarding group 7. So I was like, that's awesome.
That's super impressive.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. Yeah, so we were like, okay, one of the first, they called us at like 8:15. So I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So, extremely lucky there. Then that morning we also booked, what did we do? Oh, we also booked Rise of the Resistance, because we were park hopping to Hollywood Studios, and we booked like a 3 p.m. Rise of the Resistance.
Nice.
That was like widely available. No issues like at all. So I think if you're like park hopping, you won't have like any real issue getting like a Rise of the Resistance pass if you're trying to go later. Like, especially if you do it in the morning. I don't know how late they, I'm not sure like how long they actually lasted, because I know non-resort guests, you have to do it, you can't do it till 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
But if you're a resort guest, I can't see there really being like an issue. And then as far as Genie Plus, oh yeah, we made a Remy. We got a Remy in like the morning. So
Nice. Oh my God.
yeah. Well, luckily it was my buddy and I. So like he was in charge of Rise of the Resistance. I was in charge of virtual queue and Remy. So like I was like, okay, virtual queue, got it. Okay, Remy, bang, bang, bang. And I think I got, it was like a 10, by that time, like 10 o'clock was like available. So yeah, so got Remy. Yeah, so I guess overall with, we actually had, at least me, I had some pretty good luck, finding Genie Plus reservations. Now, I think my only issue with, well, not my only, but my biggest issue with Genie Plus is like so there's a tip board and like My Disney Day. And on the tip board, that's where you like find your fast passes and you can look at the wait times. Now, I think just refreshing that page is just annoying, like how it works. Because like, say, because I think they do it alphabetical order. No, they do it alphabetical order. So like, say you're trying to find Space Mountain, which, it's tough to do. You're trying to get Space Mountain. Now you refresh it. You have to go back to the top of the page, refresh it, scroll all the way down, refresh it. Luckily, like it doesn't get stuck. It does move. Like it does go down pretty quickly. But just like the repetitiveness of that gets like a little annoying. But otherwise, I think I kind of lucked out, and as I talk about park days, I'll talk about like what we got. So
Yeah, for sure. I think I agree with you there that you have to scroll a bunch. I wish that when you're creating your Genie Day originally and saying what you want to do, I wish those preferences automatically got pinned at the top of your tip board for when you're searching.
Ooh, yeah.
Wouldn't that be smart?
Yeah, like you could favorite rides or something, like put them at the top. That's actually like a great idea. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and we definitely talked about this, I think, on your trip reports, but just being defaulted to Magic Kingdom on your tip board all the time, like Disney, get Come on,
So
get with it. They know your location. They for other parts in the app, like for instance, mobile food order.
Yeah.
It knows what's near you. Like
You can literally get
like
walking directions to somewhere.
It's like Disney. You know where we are, so please change that because that's just like one thing that we don't need. So,
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Overall, I was positive on this.
Good.
Okay. I got what I wanted to get done. Epcot, I got 4 Genie Plus attractions in.
Nice.
Hollywood Studios, I got 2. That was, because that was a park hopping day, but they were 2 attractions that we really wanted to do. I kind of lucked out just by scrolling and looking and stuff. And then Magic Kingdom, I got some decent stuff. In the morning, it was easier to use. For the most part, like Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, you could pretty much just like book stuff one after another, especially like in the morning. I would say in the morning for Magic Kingdom, but for Animal Kingdom, when we went, like we were just able to get it like one after another. Like it was like no big deal at all. I hate waiting in lines. Like the lines when I went, they weren't too long. Like Dinosaur was like 25, 30. Everest was like 30. Kilimanjaro Safari was 45. So, I mean, not terrible waits, but like I'd much rather spend the $15 and not have to wait, you know? So that's me. That's how, like, if I could just save time, not like waiting, saving like 2.5 hours, that's great. Like I spent almost 2 hours in Nomad Lounge just drinking and eating, I'd rather be doing that. Right. So yeah, Animal Kingdom, at least that was my experience for the day. Magic Kingdom, the hard to get attractions were definitely, harder. I was stupid. I had a Space Mountain, but it was for like $10.50. Because that Saturday I booked the oh my god, what am I trying to say? I booked the Flight of Passage Lightning Lane first, and then I went to Magic Kingdom to book Space Mountain. So I had like a $10.50, but I was like, I want to get something sooner than that just so I could start using it. And after I let go of that Space Mountain, it was tough. But the good thing was I got a 10 o'clock Space Mountain that night. I knew I was going back.
Nice.
So it was like, it worked out really well anyway. So I got it. So.
Oh, nice. Okay, so so logistics of the second day. So first day you did Epcot, hop to Studios, and that was your day. So it sounds like for your second day, you hopped back to Magic Kingdom?
Second day was Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, and then I hopped back to
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did that go?
I guess I'll talk about my park days a bit. So Friday, we started at Epcot, and we just didn't take a break. We went from Epcot, and then we went to Hollywood Studios. My buddy and I, by like 5:30, we're like, I think we might call it quits by like 7. Like we were like, I realize I'm getting old now. Like
well, you also didn't sleep much the night before because you didn't get in till so late.
That's true. I mean, I get my regular, like, that's the amount of sleep I get anyway, like 6 hours.
Got it.
I was like, oh man, by the end of the day, we were like, okay, so, we didn't have a break, but, then going into Saturday, I was like, okay, I need to take a break. So I did early entry both days, Magic Kingdom, early entry. I was out of the park by 11:30.
Nice.
Because I knew I wanted to take a break. I literally went back to my resort. Oh, I have a quick story I want to share. I'll come back to that in a second. I was going back to my resort to the boardwalk, and I took a shower just to refresh. I laid down for about 45 minutes, just like, browsing or putting Park Snacker stuff on, rating stuff on my phone, whatever I did. And then I got ready, and then I went to the Animal Kingdom, and then, park top later to Magic Kingdom. So
nice. Well, I'm glad you got a nap in. I feel like I'm the biggest supporter of adult nap time at Disney. It is needed.
Yeah. Yeah. So the real quick story I want to share. So it was 11:30. I was going back to the resort, and no one's going back to the bus at that time. There's just there's no one. So I went, and I was waiting like 5 to 10 minutes for the bus, and there was one other guy there with me, and I was like, let me check out like Lyft because I saw that there were minivans, two minivans on the Magic Kingdom side over there. So I was like, okay, let me if they're out, let me see if they're available. So I went into the Lyft app. I looked at it, and it was able to let me pick minivan Magic Kingdom Park. Like there was the TTC, the Magic Kingdom Park. So I'm like, oh, let me try this. So I booked it, and it said I was getting a Toyota Camry, and I was like, well, Camrys are not minivans. So, but I was like, but it says minivan Magic Kingdom Park. It says it was going to come pick me up at Magic Kingdom Park. So I was like, let me walk over there. So I walk over, and there were two really, nice cast members that were, sitting over by the minivans. And I was like, hey, yeah, I got, I did this on the Lyft app, and I got it. Can you just take a look at it? Because I'm not sure if it's right. They're like, oh, yeah, we're running. So right now, minivans are open. We talked about it last week, June 29th. They said that right now they're going at a 30% capacity, or not capacity is not the right word. There's a word.
Availability of the cars? Like they just don't have that many of their fleet
like
out?
30. So in the app, only 30% of users are in the Lyft app will see it. So however it triggers a certain amount of people. For whatever reason, I was not one of those. But the woman saw my screen, was like, oh, that's like a bug. Can I, she literally took a screenshot of my phone just so they could probably get it fixed within, the next couple of weeks or whatever. But she's like, she helped me. I canceled it. She was like, yeah, unfortunately, you're not one of the people that are getting it right now. So if you're going in the next couple of weeks, see if it's, available. And it's funny because it hit the news, the Disney news cycle today, that there was a soft opening for.
I was going to say, I can't believe they announced that it was coming out and then only put it to 30% of the users. Like that should have been in the original announcement.
Yeah, they usually do like a soft opening like that. That happens with my stuff at work. Like we only give it to like a certain percent of users. But I was like, oh man, I kind of had the scoop on this news
I love
on
it.
Saturday, and it hit the news cycles today. So
that's so funny.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah. So, anyways, next question for me.
All right, so we're still kind of in the parks and talking rides and stuff. So did you it sounds like you got a lot of the new things done. Did you get all of the rides that you wanted to done?
Yes.
Is there something that you definitely missed and you wish you could have gotten? I mean, obviously you're not there for that long. Like you definitely missed a lot, but did you get everything you wanted?
I got everything I wanted. I have
awesome.
not been on the 4 new attractions, which is Rise of the Resistance, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, Remy Ratatouille Adventure, and then the new Guardians coaster, of course, just opened. I was able to do all 4 of those. First, I'll talk about Remy.
Yeah.
Really fun ride, really cool. I thought the effects were great. I don't have much of a love for Ratatouille as much as I do for other Pixar films. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was great. I thought it was, just really fun going on the trackless vehicles. This is my first time on a trackless ride. I guess, and Ellen's Energy Adventure was trackless, I believe.
It's not the same. It's not the same. These little tiny cars.
Yeah. So, I think, I just had a lot of fun with Remy. So
Nice.
And then, let's see, Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway. So I loved it. Mm-hmm. My biggest issue is that there is so much to look at.
Yeah.
Like there's a ton of stuff to look at when you're in there. So I feel like I need to go on it like multiple times to really look. Like I didn't know where to look, and I feel like to me that was an issue because in the vehicles, spoilers for this, but like you're kind of going all over the place, and to me, like I just thought that was kind of too chaotic. Yeah, I know it might seem like a little fun, but I think I like it more when like I'm just focused on
Mm-hmm.
something, because I feel like I'm just missing a lot of the story. Um,
Yes.
so and as someone that only goes like once a year,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not gonna remember what I saw from the last time. Well, maybe I will when I go see it. Who knows? But yeah, I think that was my biggest issue with it. Otherwise, again, just really fun, cute. Um, had the conversation with some people when I was there. It's like, okay, would you rather still have a great movie ride? I would say yes, but I feel like it would have to be updated to modern
Yeah.
times. Like if they did some newer movies, maybe not newer, but like like 80s,
Mm-hmm.
90s movies, to kind of keep up with like the people that are growing with the parks, because like yeah, kids our age, we don't care about like I'm a huge cinephile.
Mm-hmm.
I watch movies all the time. Behind me, I got Back to the Future post. I still haven't hung up most of the posters in my house, but like I again, we're on video feed on YouTube. You can check us out, YouTube Park Snacker, if you want to watch Katie and I do this stuff. Um, what was I saying? So I feel like yeah, you know, if they just moved it to like 90s films or like
Mm-hmm.
80s films, early 2000s or something like that, classic, things that might be considered classics now. I think that would be pretty cool. But
I agree with that actually. Like I really like Runaway Railway, and I think it does have a place more in Magic Kingdom than Hollywood Studios. But I
yeah.
do miss Great Movie Ride. That's like going into it, I really wanted to hate Runaway Railway. I really wanted to hate it because I was so strong into Great Movie Ride. But you're right, though. It definitely needed a lot of updates, and I feel like they could have done a lot more with it than what they left it at. So
Yeah, yeah. It was fine though.
yeah, well, I'm glad you got to experience that too. And then so let's see. So then you also did
Yeah, let's
um,
talk about Rise of the
Rise.
Resistance.
That's
So
exactly.
I am gonna go into spoilers for Rise because I've been waiting to talk about this for the past like what 2.5 years or whatever it
I
is.
think it's time. I think it's time. You're probably the only one who has not looked at
Yep.
spoilers at
Yeah,
this point.
I haven't looked at spoilers, so like like as a huge Star Wars fan, this experience was just amazing. My jaw was dropped. Um, I had no idea what to expect. So, quick story. I was talking about the weather before, how we lucked out. I also really lucked out with the rain. Now, on Saturday, when I was at home resting, that's when it torrential downpoured.
Oh
So
my
like,
gosh.
I missed the rain. When I was leaving to go to Animal Kingdom, it was just slowing down. By the time I got to Animal Kingdom, skies were cleared. It was fine. So the day before, it was hinting at rain all day long. Like I'm like, yo, it could rain at any time. There was like storm clouds everywhere. I even saw it one time, Magic Kingdom, like all the rides were down. I'm like, okay, Magic Kingdom's getting downpoured on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but at Epcot we were fine, and Hollywood Studios. So we got there too. We had Rise of the Resistance at 3. So we had actually ate at Docking Bay 7,
Nice.
and I'll talk about my meal there soon. But we were in line for Lightning Lane for Rise of the Resistance. Now, if you're familiar with the queue, it goes indoors for the Lightning Lane pretty quickly. We were just like maybe like 15 to 20 feet outside of the door when there was no like sprinkling coming down first. It just started
Dropping.
torrential
Oh my
downpour, like
god.
dropping, and like it was just coming down. And then how like the cast members always say fill in all the available
Yeah.
space. That's what people were doing.
Oh
That
my
people were
god.
like mad dashing to just get into the alcove, and me and my buddy, we literally just made it before people couldn't move any further. So like we're standing there inside, like a few feet in, and we just see people getting bucketed on with water. We were like, oh, we got so lucky just missing that. But the cool thing was, so how you're in the Resistance base and you go onto the transport ship outside.
Mm-hmm.
The coolest thing to me was that part of the ride was outside,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh my goodness, it's outside. But because it was outside, it was also downpouring. You know,
Oh my
you're
gosh.
covered, but it's also downpouring on the outside, and I was like, oh my god, this is just making it even more immersive for me because it's like I'm literally getting like put on this shuttle, um, and we got the rain coming down. I was reading someone's trip report on Reddit. It was actually there the same day as me,
Mm-hmm.
and he heard someone in the queue or in that ride in that part. He heard someone say, "Is this like?" He asked the cast members, "Like, is this part of the attraction?" Like, I can't, like I couldn't tell. So, it just made the level of immersion just even higher, and it was so cool. And then,
Nice.
yeah, finally seeing the stormtrooper room that everyone says. I've seen a million pictures, but actually being in it is different.
It's intense.
Yeah, it's really cool. I felt like we were ushered very quickly
Yeah.
into that area, and my buddy and I just took a quick selfie. But I was like, can we spend a little bit of time in here?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's
and
like
then,
eerily
so again,
quiet too. That the thing that gets me. It's like eerily quiet in there. Like
yeah,
there is not a sound to be
yeah.
heard except for the people walking. But like it is like creepy.
Yeah. That was super neat. Oh yeah, before that, even the transport going up, getting trapped and stuff,
Yeah.
that was really neat because you have the animatronics of Nim Num and what is his name? The captain. Oh my god,
Mm-hmm.
I'm blanking on his name. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I can't remember his dang name. The calamari guy. Um, well, I think the race is called Mon Calamari. I think that's the race name. But
I can't remember
Admiral
his name.
Akbar. Admiral Akbar. That's
Got
his
it.
name. Yeah. So, but it was cool. Then I was at the front of the ship, but I didn't realize there was stuff going out the back of the ship too. I noticed like halfway through, I'm like, oh, there's like video screen, like, or actually there's
Yeah.
windows out there. You can see what's going on. And to me, the coolest part, there's like lights above you, and as you like coming through the Imperial ship, like it looks like you're coming through, and there's like lights flashing above you, and I'm like, oh, this is just so neat. And then you get put in jail. They're like, okay, you're spending your time in jail, and then I was like, how are we getting out of here? Because I had no
Mm-hmm.
idea what happened. Then they busted the wall down, and they got you out. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And then you put you in the transport ship, in the little transports. And then yeah, my favorite part in the ride was when you're going into the at room and you're kind of just like going back and forth. And the at-ats, I'm like, oh my god, this is just so cool. Like everything was just so amazing. But then I thought the coolest part of the ride, it backs you up into the space and it sends you in an elevator going up. I'm like, what is going on? This is so cool. Yeah, I was just so freaking excited at that point. And then
Yeah.
gunfire is going off everywhere. Kylo Ren's around. They had those really cool lightsaber effects. Man, this ride, and then to me at the end where the ride ends outside, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, to me that was just so cool. Like having the ride actually end outside like that. I'm like, this Disney nailed it with
They
this,
nailed it.
like with this ride. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe everything that was going on. Just so cool. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. So
That's so cool. I'm so excited that you finally got to experience. I knew you'd love it. It is seriously like the most immersive thing ever. Like from the
yeah,
second that you walk into the queue, like you're right, like you board the transport ship outside, you then end the ride outside, and there's so many different locations you go, and you have to imagine like you're really not moving far, but it feels like you are just going all over the
yeah.
place, which is so cool.
Yeah. It was the most immersive attraction by far there. And just being a Star Wars nerd for so long, I was just loving every minute of it. So
Nice. I love it. Very cool.
Yep.
So then the last new thing, and I don't care so much about spoilers, but try not to go too deep into it. Guardians, pretty cool.
yeah, I'm not going to talk about spoilers, especially because it's so
Mm-hmm.
fresh. But man, this coaster was so much fun. Now, first thing I want to say was like this is like the smoothest coaster. Like I
Nice.
think as at Disney, like it is so smooth. if riding Space Mountain the next day, you're like, oh man, I missed the smoothness of Guardians. But so everyone talked about. So I have bad motion sickness. Now,
Okay.
I got really worried because, people kept talking about, people just getting sick on this ride and stuff. Because, a lot of people know that the ride vehicles turn. It was cool. My buddy didn't know anything. He didn't know that the ride vehicles turned or anything like that. So he didn't know what to expect. So I got really worried because they called us at like 8:15. And, we got in Epcot, started kind of like meandering our way over. We were kind of taking our time, which I'll talk about soon why we were doing that. But I realized that I forgot to take my Dramamine. I always take 2 Dramamine to start the day, like the less drowsy kind. And it usually have to take it an hour beforehand before it kicks in. So I was like, oh no, I forgot to take it. So I took it immediately, and we were debating, should we just wait? But we didn't want to waste time. And I was like, screw it, let's just try it. Let's see how it goes. And for whatever reason, I guess it worked, or I'm not sure, but like I didn't get any motion sickness at all on Guardians of the Galaxy, which I was really surprised about. Now, I was in the front in row 2. And I have read online from multiple people saying that people, like, if you're at the front, you get less sick because I guess at the end, at the end, there's, like, on any roller coaster, there's usually more whip at the end. That's why, like, Big Thunder Mountain is always best in the back. Everest is always best in the back. You always want to, if you want to have more fun, go in the back. But, we were row 2, and... I guess that helped me. I'm not sure, but like, you're moving and turning there like the whole time, like you're going all over the place. But for me, I didn't get sick, but like, I still got sick on Everest. Smuggler's Run still made me a bit nauseous. Space Mountain, as much as I love it, that still makes me a little nauseous too. Big Thunder makes me a little nauseous. So like, Guardians, out of all the rides, Guardians was the one that just didn't. So
nice. Well, good.
I know everyone's different, but I wanted to give you my experience because people have been very curious about that recently. So, nice. But otherwise, I still don't think Guardians should be in Epcot. That big blue ride building is atrocious to the sight lines. Holy crap! Harmonious fountains are atrocious to the sight lines.
But there's dinosaurs.
Epcot, thank God Flower and Garden was around because some of the areas were very beautiful with the flowers, but all the sight lines in Epcot are just ruined right now, like so bad. And that's what sucks the most is that we get a cool Guardians ride, but now we have a stupid show building that just takes up a sight line. So yeah.
Yep, that's a bummer. It is definitely not fun to look at.
Yeah, so we're about like 40 minutes. We'll go for like another 20, I guess. I don't want to go too long, but what other questions do you have?
Well, I feel like we got a good grasp of your park days, but we haven't talked anything about food. So tell me about those 28 snacks and food items and drinks that you had. Like, what was your most favorite? What was your least favorite? What was something that shocked you? Like, what all did you try? Maybe not everything you tried, but talk to me. Talk to me about the food and drinks that you've tried and what really stood out in good and bad ways.
Yeah. So I'll start with my top 3. Not just snacks, but top three food, top 3 drinks, whatever. So, in no particular order. The spiked cold brew at Kat Saka's Kettle in Batu is fantastic. Like
nice.
It is just as good as everyone says. I love cold brew. I drink it, all the time. I love iced coffee. Oh my goodness, it was so good.
That's the one with the Cocoa Puffs on top, right?
That has the Cocoa Puffs on top. I believe it's Godiva chocolate liqueur in the spiked version.
Nice.
And it has like sweet cream. I think it's sweet cream on top. Or sweet cream cheese, I think is what they say. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Every time I was waiting to get mine online, and the cast member was like, "Oh, make sure you mix it up." So I took my photo, and then I mixed it up. I'm like, "Oof, so good."
Nice.
And then the pretzel bread pudding, everyone's been talking about how good that is at Summerfest in Germany. It is damn good. It is,
Nice.
like I love a good bread pudding, and this pretzel bread pudding was just fantastic. The thing that surprised me the most, this was a last minute recommendation because it's a vegetarian option, but I was like, I'll give it a shot. I want to try, something different that I literally didn't hear of it until like 2 days beforehand. Someone gave me a recommendation. It was the spiced potato hand pies at the Kusafari shop in Africa over in Animal Kingdom. Now, the Kusafari shop is like this small little window. They have like some tacos, I think it's tacos or flatbreads. I think it's tacos. There's some other things in there. But the spiced potato hand pies, they're kind of like an empanada. So it's like, kind of like a big wonton. But, it's like, it's big. Like, it's definitely like a good, you get two of them. It's great to share. I mean, I ate both of them. But, it was so crispy on the outside. The flavor of the outside shell was just so good. The potatoes had this great spice on the inside. And then there's just like green kind of dipping sauce. That was fantastic as well. Kind of reminds me of a dipping sauce you would get at like a Tusker House, or not a Tusker House, like a Tiffin's or a Sanaa and such.
Oh, okay.
So very good spiced potato ham pies. That's like, I think that's what surprised me the most.
Nice.
And then the other shout out for another, I got a sandwich at the Boardwalk Bakery. I got it on Sunday. I was eating too much snacks. I was like, I need some protein. So I saw something with ham, not the healthiest protein, but there was ham and then like Swiss cheese. It was this melted Swiss cheese and ham sandwich on like marble rye bread. It was so good.
Nice.
So good. And what was even better, because it was hot, I was in my AC room, eating it, and it was fantastic. So
Sweet.
yeah, so put those on your snack list. Now, 3 things to avoid, actually are all drinks. All the food I had was very good. I didn't have any issues with food. But the 3 worst things, this is in order of the 3 worst things. Number 3 was a limoncello spritzer. It was very early in Epcot, and really not much was open. And I actually want to talk about touring Epcot in the morning soon. I got a limoncello spritzer at this like little cart. I love limoncello. I was like, let me try. I want to get the Italian margarita at the the flower and garden booth, the Primavera, I think it's called. But it wasn't open yet. So I'm like, let me just get this limoncello spritzer. Sucked. It was not very good. Yeah. I didn't even finish it. I was like, I don't even want this. So, and then Saturday night, we went to Abracadabra in Boardwalk, which I want to talk about a bit more. I got a drink called the Coney Negroni. I wish I just didn't get this. It was a bourbon, Campari, and sweet vermouth type drink. I got it mostly because of the bourbon. I was like, let me see how the vermouth and the Campari would taste with it. Not good. But I think the bartender didn't know what she was doing. Like, there were 3 bartenders, and 2 of them, like, it looked like they knew what they were doing. But the one just, like, didn't know how to take orders very well. Oh. And I saw how she made the drink, and I'm like, I don't know if I would trust this. And, yeah, unfortunately, it was not very good. So that was the Coney Negroni at Abracadabra. Okay. The worst thing by far was the DeLange's Delight drink at Nomad Lounge. Now, I took a few sips of this. It was a tall drink. It was tall. And I was just like, I'm not going to drink this. So it's very rare of me to do this, but I talked to the server. I was like, listen, this drink is terrible. And I hate to say this. I was still willing to pay for it. I told him, like, listen, I'll pay for it. I just don't want to drink it. Can you get me something else? And he did. And very, very nice. He didn't charge me for it, which is great. So don't be afraid. Like, if you're, I feel crappy doing it just because it's the waste of, alcohol and stuff like that.
So what is the DeLange's Delight? Like, I've never even heard of that drink, but I've always had such good luck with all of the drinks at Nomads.
So it has, it has a Star African rum, uh, Batavia Arik von Austen. I don't know what that is. The thing that sold me, it has a tangerine liqueur in it and a mountain berry tea. And I was like, okay, well, I like rum. Like, I'm tempted to drink tangerine liqueur and, mountain berry tea. I that sounds like it'd be fine, right? And it has simple syrup and lemon juice. Whatever it was, those mixtures just did not go well together. And I was talking to the server about it, and he's like, yeah, I don't, like, if people ask me for recommendations, I never recommend that one. I'll never say a drink is bad, but that's just one that is really an acquired taste for some people. Some people, like, because I had it because someone recommended it to me and was like, oh, it's really good. I'm like, all right, because it was on my list of things to try at Animal Kingdom. So not very good. The what I replaced it with was fantastic. It was called the High Tower Rocks.
Love that one.
Oh, it has tequila, watermelon, sweet and sour, and lime juice. Oh, like a total 180. So good, so refreshing. I usually don't care about watermelon flavored things, but I was like, you know what? I've been like really into tequila lately, and I hate margaritas. So, like, margarita mix just gives me, like, wicked heartburn.
Yeah.
So, I was like, all right, let me just try this. Oh, my goodness. So freaking good. So good. So, the High Tower Rocks at Nomad Lounge, highly recommend that. So.
I recommend it, too. That's usually one I get as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very good. So, those are my top three and the worst three. Let me see if there's anything else. I'll just do some honorable mentions. The Shaken Jamaican Cold Brew was so
Always
good.
A classic. Always
I got
a
it with hazelnut shot. Everyone raves about the fresh fruit waffle at Sleepy Hollow in Magic Kingdom. That was very good. I tried the I Lava You float at Sunshine Tree Terrace. I realize at my age, I don't care for floats, like, at all.
That's
like,
fair.
I thought it was very tasty. I thought it was good. But I'm eating, I'm like, yeah, this is good, but I wish I just didn't get it. I'll never buy a float again just because I'm not into them. So,
that's fair.
And then the Croque Glacé, which is at France at L'Artisan de Glace. I don't know how to say it, pronounce it. L'Artisan de Glace, it's the ice cream shop in France. But you can get ice cream smushed between two pieces of brioche bread, like warm brioche bread. Very good. I wish the brioche bread, it was a little on the drier side. I feel like the brioche bread that I've gotten at my Whole Foods near me has been a lot better than this. But it was still very good. Like, I rated it a 4.5 on Park Snacker. Still very good. And then so we went to what is it? Galaxy's Edge, Oga's Cantina. Now the Outer Rim, very good. That's a fan favorite. People like this. So I also got the Jet Juice, which I don't really see people talking about too much. It's funny. I went on the menu on Park Snacker, and I was actually like literally looking at the average ratings of like on the menu to see what people like, and Jet Juice was rated high. But I wish I actually read the reviews, because the Jet Juice, which is very good, you get a small glass.
Yeah.
But that thing is strong in a good way.
Well, it's straight liquor. There's no mixers in it. It's basically is it bourbon juice?
So
juice?
it's bourbon, Uncle Reyes chili liqueur, acai liqueur, a bit of white grape juice and lemon juice. So it's like spicy. It burns, but to me that it burned in a good way. But very good. But if you're paying all that money at Galaxy or at Oga's Cantina, you might want to get something that's bigger, because Jet Juice is a small glass.
Yep.
But it does take a while to get down, just because it's not a chugger. Yeah. It's something you gotta sip on.
Sipper for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I got to talk about real quick my favorite snack of all time at Disney, which is the caramel apple oatmeal cookie at Caramel Couché in Germany. I had it, still very, very good, but they don't do the caramel drizzle on the top anymore, which knocks it down. Like that caramel drizzle is what absolutely made it even better. And I asked them, like, can you just like drizzle caramel on there? Like, no, we can't. I'm like, all right, well,
Bummer.
yeah. So, yeah, I did a lot of snacking, but I want to talk about some of the meals that I got real quick.
Sure.
So we went to Docking Bay 7, and I didn't realize, but I did not go in Docking Bay 7 the last time I was there. Have you been in it before or not?
I've walked through, yeah, but I haven't gotten anything from there.
Okay, so to me that was actually new because I just never went in there because I never, we never had a quick service meal in there. It is a quick service location. I got the Felucian kefta and hummus garden spread, which was pita with plant-based meatballs, herb hummus, herb hummus, and then a tomato cucumber relish.
Nice.
Fantastic, very very good. Like the seasonings were good. The spices were good. It was excellent. And then, so I was, Saturday night after, Friday night, we were done with Hollywood Studios, and we were going to Abracadabra. I was meeting a few people there, and I needed protein. Like, I was eating crap all day long, it felt. So I was like, oh, I need protein. So, it's kind of, when you're at the boardwalk, it's, I was really looking for something that I can mobile order from so I didn't have to wait. So I didn't realize, but Trattoria Al Forno, which is amazing, so good. It was like my last trip was a totally underrated restaurant, ended up becoming one of my favorites. They have a to-go section. You can actually order Trattoria Al Forno to go. I got a grilled swordfish, which was amazing, so good, even when it was, to go as well.
Nice.
Yeah, so... I think that's all I'm going to mention about food. You could check out my Park Snacker account. Go to my profile, look at the items. You can follow me, and you could see like all the other things I had. The couple things that I'll mention. Now, mobile ordering for food. That's like I literally did that for probably everything.
Yeah.
Because I hate waiting on lines. So it saves so much time. Like mobile order, I just see people waiting on lines for stuff. I'm like, what are people doing waiting on lines? Don't wait
you
on
wait
line.
enough in line for rides. Don't wait in line for food.
Yeah, it's like you can save so much time just by mobile ordering something. Like I knew that I'm walking to the Toy Story soon. I want to try one of the Pop-Tarts. I mobile ordered it. The time was available right away. Okay, let me go. Order it. Okay, I'm here. Okay, it's ready. Pick it up. Like, then you have... don't wait in line. See what's available for mobile order. Just get it. I think pretty much everything I had. So, okay, how much time we got here? Let's see. Let me look. Oh, my goodness.
Long, but it's all good stuff.
I know. So... Now, I think one of my issues was I want to talk about Epcot a bit. Actually, do you have any other questions for right now?
I kind of wanted my only other question on food and Park Snacker app was how you used it. How easy was it? Did you notice a few things that you can, build into updates in the future? Just how was the experience of using the app and like how did you do it?
So definitely how I use it the most were three ways. First, I had created my lists beforehand. So, over the past couple of years, I've been, I added so many foods to my snack list. And we don't have filters just yet in snack list. So what I did was I created custom lists of what I wanted to try. So in each park, I was like, okay, these are the things like I wanted to try. And for the most part, I stuck with what was on those lists. Now, so, when I was looking for food, I kind of went off that. Now, there were times where, say, like, again, Oga's Cantina, I was looking at menus to see what was good on there. Same with Abracadabra. Okay, I was just chilling out. I wanted to get some drinks. What's good. Same with Nomad's Lounge. It's actually for I was looking at the drink menu on our app because I can look at the menu and see the average ratings right next to it. So I'm looking at, okay, what's the highest? What should I try? And that's kind of how I went off from that. So looking at the menus that way, that it was extremely helpful. And then of course just rating them. So like usually at the end of the day, I would just go in and rate all of them. So while I was there, those are the three different ways I was really using it.
Nice. And you were wearing your fantastic QR code T-shirts. Did a bunch of people stop and talk to you about it? Was it like a good conversation starter?
Unfortunately, no one talked to me about it. Yeah, which was very unfortunate. But the day I was with my buddy Art, like he said a few times, he's like, "Dude, there's so many people just that are looking at it." So I'm gonna have to talk to Doug and see, pull our numbers of how many, if we got any people.
You spiked numbers really good over the weekend. That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, anything else?
I think that kind of wraps up what I had on the food. I know you were talking. Let's get into touring plans at Epcot because I do want to hear your thoughts on that because Epcot's a very tricky one to tour.
Yes. So, Epcot, so my main purpose was to get video content for Park Snacker. So it was good that I was going to Epcot in the morning for that because it was like World Showcase is just empty. Yeah. There's no one there. Like if you're going to Epcot, you're going for the rides early in the morning because nothing for food is like open, at all. And I was disappointed that way because I really wanted to try some food, like walking around World Showcase. But and this was early. Like I'm talking about like 8:15. Like the park's not really open, so I can't, complain too much. But even by like 9 o'clock, there still wasn't a lot open. So it was tough that way if you're trying to like get food and stuff. So if you're going to Epcot in the morning, it's for rides and that's it. So that was my one biggest thing where I felt like I wasted a lot of time in well, no, I shouldn't say I wasted because I did get a lot of video content and that was the main purpose. But like, I feel like if you're not going for just for the rides, then it's not a great park to start with. And we weren't going to, but we only did because of Guardians of the Galaxy. That's the only reason we did it. So, so I'm trying to think. So a couple of things. I got to give a shout out to some people.
Yeah.
Because not only Art was there, which my best friend Art. Doug and his wife were there as well. So Friday, they were coming in for the weekend. They were staying at Riverside. They had their dog with them, too. There's actually a few. If you didn't know, there's a few resorts. I think there's 4. I don't know them off the top of my head. That you can actually bring your dog and have them stay. And over at Riverside, they had their little Havapoo, and, it was with them.
Nice.
So, because you're friends with them, you can actually see all of their plans. So, I'm talking throughout the day, and our plan was to, end at 7 o'clock. Then he was going to go back, he was just going to leave and I was going to go back to the hotel and I was just going to go to Abracadabra by myself just to check it out. But then I saw on Genie Plus, they had a dinner reservation at 7:50 for Trattoria Al Forno. So I texted him hey, usually dinner at Disney only takes an hour. Mm-hmm. So hey, I'm going to go to Abracadabra afterwards, meet me there. So, it was super fun. First I took first there was some disappointment because I'm going to backtrack and then I'm going to come back. So Epcot, we were trying to get to Hollywood Studios. We were going to take the Skyliner, but because of rain or because of lightning, it was down. Ugh. The boats were down too, not working. So both of us, it was 1:30 and we're we're not walking. So the original plan was we were going to come back to Boardwalk that night. He was going to grab his car at Boardwalk. But instead what we did was we just picked up his car, drove to Hollywood Studios. So coming back to Hollywood Studios or coming back from Hollywood Studios to the Boardwalk, I took the Skyliner. I love the Skyliner. Oh, so much fun. Walking back, I ran into an Disney Instagram friend, the Enchanted Esquire. Her name is Haley. I don't know, some of you are probably friends with her, but she was awesome. It was her daughter's birthday. They're going to Epcot for a bit, so I ran into them as I was walking back. I'm like, oh my god, is that Haley, the Enchanted Esquire? And it was really fun running to them. We're going to try to do something in September when I'm there longer. And then, another Disney Instagram friend, Passion for Park Drinks. Her name is Susie. She was there as well. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to be at Abracadabra with some friends. Come along if you want to come hang out. So her and her friend, after they did Harmonious, they came out, hung out with us for a bit, got some drinks at Abracadabra, and then the Weekly Mouse, our good friend CJ. CJ finally met her. She came out Friday night, for some drinks and stuff, and then Saturday she was at I park topped the Animal Kingdom. She was at Animal Kingdom with me like the entire time. So we hung out, did a lot of rides together, and then we park top over to Magic Kingdom. I met Doug and Kim back over there. So, I did see Doug and Kim in Animal Kingdom because we rode Flight of Passage together.
Nice.
So,
so many friends in such a short amount of time. I think that's always the best part of going down there, is just seeing who you can run into.
Yeah, so it was fun because we talked to all these people on Disney on Instagram and stuff, and it's just a ton of fun.
Yeah.
So I think so a couple the other thing I want to mention, it was actually my first time on the ferry.
Yay! We just talked about that last week. I'm so
we were
proud
talking
of
about
you.
that. Yeah, we were talking about that last week. I wasn't planning on going on the ferry, but because I was with CJ, we just drove from Animal Kingdom to Magic Kingdom, and hopped on the ferry. Beautiful. It was sunset. The sun was going down, and it was literally what I said last week was my favorite time at Disney is on the water, like at night. But I also consider like the evening and stuff.
Yeah.
And just being on the ferry boat for that short amount of time, like, yes, I'm home. This is Disney. This is what I think of Disney, and I loved it so much.
Yay. Oh, I'm so glad. I love the ferry.
Yeah. And one of the last things I'll mention is, with Genie Plus, we actually, we got a lot done with Genie Plus. I won't go through like all the rides, but I want to say like I rarely waited in line for anything, and I refuse to do standby lines. Mm-hmm. Like, well, I should say I refuse to do it on this trip, just because I had other things I need to get done in such a short amount of time. So I was, just be proactive on Genie Plus. You'll find stuff. But like, man, Magic Kingdom at night, like if you're not seeing Enchantment, you can get stuff done. You can get stuff
done. Yep, for sure. And Enchantment's not really worth it.
Yeah. So when we went back to Magic Kingdom, we did People Mover was not open earlier in the morning, but it was open at night. Finally got to saw Tron. One of my favorite attractions, Mickey's Hard Magic, had the new update. Update is amazing.
Isn't
my goodness,
so cute.
The update just looks so good now because they remastered it, and it looks brand spanking new. The Coco scene was great, fantastic. By the time we got to Mickey's Hard Magic, the fireworks are going off. We went to Big Thunder. Excuse me. We went to Big Thunder. That was a walk on. Unfortunately, I can't do that twice. We only do it once. But by the time we were done with that, we had to go meet Doug and Kim because we actually all had Space Mountain fast passes together, or Genie Plus Genie Plus Lightning Lane reservations at 10:00 for Space Mountain. So we went and did that. Then afterwards, we did Pirates, and the last ride of the night at the end of the trip was Splash Mountain.
Nice.
So,
oh man, you really did get a lot done. That's so impressive.
Yeah. I mean, we just got to be proactive. That's all it is. But, and then and I'm trying to just ramp down here. Oh, the last thing I wanted to mention, because I was trying to think of like first times. So again, the ferry was the first time in that. I think so. Something about I wanted to talk about like now that this is the first time here after the pandemic. Mm-hmm. One of the other things that I loved is the Mobile Express shopping.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that so much. Especially when it's after park closing and the Mickey's Emporium is a crap show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, I saw a shirt earlier in the day. It was a paging Mr. Morrow, Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Morrow had Space Mountain the People Mover on it. I'm like, if that shirt's there at the end of the night, I'm gonna grab it. So I grabbed it, and then I saw that you could actually do a mobile order checkout. I'm like, I had no idea how it worked.
Mm-hmm.
So I went up to, like, because if you go by a door where they have like the sign for mobile order checkout, there's people there, and all they do is, like, you go in the app, you scan it, you buy it. They just check your, like, receipt at the door to make sure you actually purchased it. And instead of waiting on those long lines to, like, check out, you just
Yeah.
purchase it real quick.
Yeah.
I thought that was, like, one of the best things that, now have come out of the pandemic. Now, the one sad thing is, though, you definitely feel the difference of not having the international cast members there. And I particularly felt it when I was in Africa over
Mm-hmm.
at Animal Kingdom. Like, I just felt like those international cast members just brought so much joy and happiness over there that, like, you don't see that at all. Um, and especially definitely in Epcot too, or in the World Showcase, you
Yep.
just don't see it. So, but yeah, to wrap things up, Katie, any last questions from you?
I think we really did a good job covering it. I think the only thing that I am interested in hearing your perspective, and it could be just a quick one too, with your trip. So your next trip is already in September, and that's already booked and planned and pretty much ready to go. Is there anything slash what did you learn from this trip that you're going to either do the same next time or change up? Like what were your learnings from this trip?
So my learnings are from this is that even though I'm 34 years old now, I just can't do long park days. Like, I feel like I know what I want to do, and if I could just get those things done, I can. But this next trip is going to be completely different because we're going to have our daughter. Now I'm going to go at her pace, and I'm going to be okay if we go to the park for a few hours in the morning, go take a nap at midday, go back at the evening for like a few more hours. Like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I've been to Disney so many times now. Like, I don't need to go. I want to make sure I'm also relaxing and even enjoying the resort.
Yeah.
I was at the boardwalk for 2 nights, and I tried to enjoy it as much as I could. That's why another reason I went back midday. I was like, you know what? Let me get like some food at the Boardwalk Bakery. I got dinner at Trattoria Al Forno. Just really trying to like enjoy it a bit. And I think for the next trip, I'm just gonna take it slow and easy. And I already talked to my, because my mom and sister are going. I was like, listen, I think you guys are going to be on your own. Like, you guys figure out what you want to get done. I'll help you. I'll set you up for success. And, but yeah, I'm just at that point where I love Disney, and I know that I just don't need to be going to the parks all day long.
Well, and I think that's the coolest part of like evolving with Disney too and growing up with Disney too, because you're right. Like, I was the same way. I used to go, park open to close, never resting and stuff. But like, the past couple trips especially, like, I have really found the joy in exploring the resorts and finding those lounges and just sitting at the lounge and people watching for an hour or two.
Yeah.
Like, I think and that's kind of become my favorite part of going to Disney too, because it's no longer like a run constantly. Like, there's a lot of running, but I know that I can build in those little pauses, and it makes it so much more enjoyable in the long run. So I'm glad that was a good takeaway for you. I feel like I'm at work right now with takeaways and learnings and things, but I'm still glad that was a good takeaway for you.
Yeah. No, for sure. So overall, this was, such a great short trip. I could have talked about it for so much longer. Sorry I hopped all over the place. I'm trying to think if there's any last things. I think I mentioned everything. So, the last thing I'll mention was the longest line I waited in was for the lightning lane for Buzz Lightyear. I don't know what was going on with that. Oh my goodness, funny story with that. Yeah, okay, last thing. So I literally waited online in the lightning lane for like 20 minutes for Buzz Lightyear. I'm like, what am I doing in here? I didn't even play it. I just took B-roll footage on my phone. That's all I did. So the guy behind me, I guess he must have saw that I was taking footage. So I saw him take out his phone and he started taking footage. He dropped his phone and I just saw it go on the path of Buzz Lightyear, and I just, all the cars just keep moving and his phone just stood still, and I'm just like, oh, stinks for that guy. And for whatever reason, his photo shows up in my photo pass. So
now you remember him always.
Yeah, so now I just always remember him. So
that's fantastic.
Anyways, but that's it. That was my short but sweet trip. Man, I think since I'm gonna have a much longer trip next time, we're gonna have to make sure we do like 2 hours for this or something.
Or break it into part 1 and part 2 or something.
Yeah, I think so, because I could have. Yeah, this was a lot. So this was a lot of fun. Katie, thank you so much for chatting with me.
Thank you for sharing everything. And I mean, I'm sure I'll be watching everything through your Instagram, and I was stalking your Park Snacker account already because I wanted to see everything that you were reading and reviewing.
Yeah. The thing that surprised me the most, I did not get as much as I thought. Like I was expecting to go in and buy a lot, but between rides and like things I was eating, my stomach, like, again, I'm not a young chicken or what is it, spring chicken anymore. Like, my body does not take foods the way they used to.
That's fair.
So I'm like, I was literally, walking around the park. So I'm like, I look at something that was on my list, and I go up to the booth or the restaurant stand, whatever it was. I'm just like, my stomach is just not in it right now. I can't do it.
Oh no,
I can't do it. Yeah, that happened several times.
Oh, so, buddy.
But,
well, hey, you have more
Katie.
trips coming up. You'll get it next time.
I know. I'm excited. So yeah, September is my next trip. As of right now, we have a night at Copper Creek in Wilderness Lodge, and then the rest of the trip is at the Grand Floridian with a wait list for beach clubs. So we'll see if we end up getting that. So
very cool.
But all right, well, next week we'll be back with the news. Katie, where can we find you?
Yep, you guys come hang out with me over on Instagram. I am at Magically Mootsy, and I'm also on Park Snacker at Magically Mootsy.
Yay! Cool. Yeah, follow me on Park Snacker Matt. You could see everything that I ate and reviewed over there, except for the Spike cold brew. We don't have that in Park Snacker. I was like,
well, it is really new.
It is, but we gotta add it in there. So it's something very easy to do, but I gotta add it. But anyways, so yeah, make sure you go to parksnacker.com. You can find all of our links. The reels and TikToks are going out. I was really excited because I put up a reel yesterday and a TikTok of Katie and I talking last week. But it was so good because I had the B-roll footage to like go behind it. So like, we were talking about transportation. So I was able to use footage from the Skyliner trip I went on this past weekend, the ferry boat. So I was like, oh, it's just nice to have this footage. That's why I went to, for the content. So
yep, for sure. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing everything.
Heck yeah. So, anyway, so that's it for this week. Until next time, guys. See you later.
Bye.